I want to talk about the GOAT talk, because at the end of the day, it is subjective. There is no objective true answer. I hate how we either criticize LeBron or Jordan, and because let's be real, it's between LeBron and Jordan. There's no one else you can really fucking put into it. I'm sorry, like, no disrespect to Magic, no disrespect to Larry Bird, no disrespect to Kobe. But when it comes to just dominance of the league on offense and on defense, on just being loved by the league and fans, like, I don't think anyone can really rival them. They were just the most elite of league. I hate how, for example, for Michael Jordan, they're always like, oh, Jordan played against a bunch of, plumbers and scrubs. Like, no wonder he was able to ball out. But then people criticize LeBron and they're like, oh, LeBron plays in the era where there's no defense and there's no hand checking, so that's why he's able to get all these stats. Y'all gotta fucking stop with this. Like, a player can't control the climate of the league when he's playing. That's just how it is. They just have to adapt their style and their play to whatever the rules and like the general flow of the game is. That's all they can fucking do. So that's a really stupid fucking criticism if you ask me. Like, what you want fucking Michael Jordan to get in a fucking time machine back from 93 and move to, like, it's not his fault. There's benefits and disadvantages from either era. Jordan's era, it was way more physical. That could get brutal. But also on the flip side, there was also no real shooting like there was now. So it was way easier to pack the paint on defense. Offense now, yeah, there's way more freedom to do things, but now there's way less fucking bully ball. Like, yeah, LeBron, if he played back in Michael Jordan's era, I don't think he would be near as efficient as much of a scorer as he is, shooting, but he'd be up in the paint. I would love to see a prime LeBron go up against a prime Shaq up in the paint. How sick would that be? That should be wild. I just needed to get that out of the way because I'm tired of the whole era debate. Like, oh, if you place one player in this one, he'd be terrible. He'd be great. And it's like, you have no idea because that player would change how they fucking play if they were in that era. Like, even Steph Curry, who just broke the 3-point record, if you put him back in like the 80s, he'd probably still be a damn good fucking shooter, but he wouldn't be shooting threes like he fucking is, because back in the day that was so uncommon. Like, the league wasn't prepared for that. If he tried doing that, his ass would have got benched. Like, they just wouldn't have allowed it because that just wasn't the era. I fucking love Jordan. Jordan was my idol. I remember in elementary school when we had to do a report on one of our heroes, I chose Michael Jordan. I read all of his biographies. I've gone through, because obviously I was a youngin', like still in my mama's womb when he was going on his first three-peat. So I've never got to watch any of his games live. I got to watch all the recordings. The flu game was so inspirational when I got to see that. I've loved everything he does. However, if I'm being truest of true and honest to myself, I gotta say, I think LeBron's the GOAT. And I know, so many of you old school fanboys are going to be so pissed, going to be lighting me up talking about LeFraud, and how he had to create super teams. But here's the thing. LeBron James has just done so much insane fucking shit from the start to it's not even the end of his career. This dude is fucking 37 years old. All of December, he was averaging over 30 points a fucking game at 37 years old. Granted, the Lakers, they're not winning a lot. They're starting to do better. I think they've won 4 of their last 5. They're starting to turn it around. I think they said something like the first 1,000 points to all the way up to 36,000 points. LeBron has been the youngest player to hit every single one of those milestones. That's fucking insane. That means his greatness has been consistent. Do y'all realize LeBron's second year in the league, as a sophomore, he led his dog shit Cleveland Cavaliers team to the finals. Yeah, they lost. Of course, they were going against the Dynasty Spurs. But LeBron has now spent more days of his life in the NBA than he's been alive. Over 50% of his life, he's been a professional basketball player. That kind of longevity and of just sheer excellence. And he had that 1 year when he first got with the Lakers and they were trash that he missed out half the season or whatever. But he's never really missed much less than that. And Jordan, I'm not blaming him, for when he took his retirement, his dad died, didn't feel he had much challenge or whatever. But that's a whole 2-year gap in his resume. And who's to say what he would have done with that? And would that have made his career been shorter? I would argue if Michael Jordan didn't take those 2 years off, I don't think that they would have won another three-peat. Because here's what I think would have happened. But if Michael Jordan didn't retire, Bulls would have still been, super nice and dominant. I think that 4th year, they probably lose. They're going to get gassed out. I don't think y'all realize how exhausting it is for an entire team to spend an extra 16 to 28 games in the postseason every single year, have a shortened offseason to rest, and again, just to be motivated to do it. So I think they would lose that next year. Then, of course, the Bulls would be concerned, oh fuck, our dynasty over. They'd probably panic. They would end up trading Scottie Pippen or some major key on there, and then who knows what goes from there. But I think it would just shatter everything. I think the whole taking the 2 years off, yeah, he was playing another sport. Michael Jordan wasn't playing like gruelingness of basketball, and I'm not going to try to compare basketball to baseball, but I think that helped a lot in Michael Jordan securing that legacy. I love Michael Jordan. I fell in love with his legend, but that's the thing. So much of that legend, Michael Jordan saved by there not being this social media era that we have now. Could you imagine if Twitter was around back then? Michael Jordan was playing golf till 4 a.m. right before a finals game, and he was gambling? What? He would be flamed. He'd be hated so much. It baffles me how much like LeBron hate there really is, and I'll admit I'm even guilty of it sometimes when he's really been such an upstanding person. Other than him saying like stupid political commentary shit that he really, I don't know, he just tries to say what he thinks everyone wants to say, but then he sometimes sounds hypocritical. But it all comes from a place of good heart, you know? He seems to always be trying to stand up for people. When there was that commentator who made that comment about Kevin Porter Jr. when he hit that game winner, and he was like, he pulled that trigger and hit just like his father. Kevin Porter Jr.'s father had a manslaughter charge for fucking shooting someone and spent like 10 years in prison. And LeBron fucking called that shit out and was like, yo, that is not okay. And like standing up for like a random player on another team. He actually wants to be friends with people and he's nice. And you could argue some of that is fake as fuck. I don't know. I'm not in LeBron's head. But I think a lot of that just comes with LeBron is so loved. What's that law? You know, for every action, there has to be an equal reaction sort of thing. And I think that's what leads to a lot of the hate is that LeBron gets fawned over so much. And then there are the people. If you grew up watching Michael Jordan live, I could totally understand why you would say he's your undisputed GOAT. But for me, all I have is like the replays and the highlights. So I don't really get to see a lot of the real struggles Michael Jordan went through. I didn't get to see his real inner flaws. I've been told about him. I can read the books about it. We don't really get to feel that and how he overcame them. Compared to LeBron James, I've seen him struggle to get defeated, struggle, have injuries, get defeated, come back, be down 1-3, and then come back. That, I think alone, should cement LeBron James as the greatest player of all time. Beating the best record team of all time, the 73-9 Warriors, and being down 3-1 in the finals and winning, which has never been done before. Absolutely blemished what would have been a legendary fucking year. He was so fucking good that the fucking Warriors had to go and recruit Kevin Durant to their fucking team. That was solely the LeBron James effect. I'm sorry. There's no other way you can convince me otherwise. You could argue, oh yeah, LeBron created the super team. The simple fact of the matter is Jordan, yeah, didn't have to go and like jump teams because he got lucky and he had really good management and just convenience where they were able to draft/trade for those star players that he was able to stay. But don't forget, there was a time when Michael Jordan was ready and wanted to fucking leave too before they were able to get their shit together. Now, if they get Scottie Pippen, if they weren't able to get Dennis Rodman, probably Jordan would have been pissed and eventually fucking left. Again, it goes back to the era thing. Back in those days, it was super difficult to get a star player. You're having to throw back so much. And now, sometimes if a star player can ask for a trade when he still has 2 years left on his contract, and a lot of time the teams fucking buckle. Unless you're Ben Simmons, because everyone hates Ben Simmons. Not that kind of video, sorry. Anyways, LeBron, if anything, he just empowered player empowerment of being able to choose what you want to do with your career and your legacy. And I don't see why that should be hated. And this is such a weird thing with fans. For example, like Damian Lillard. We're all like, Dame, you should just fucking go. You're wasting your career. Why do you love Portland so much? But then when a star player wants to up and leave his fucking small market team and go somewhere big, we bitch about how, oh, players, you know, they always want to take the easy way out. And it's like, what the fuck do you want from them? We put so much pressure on these players that if you're not winning championships, your entire career is pointless. And that's such a toxic and shitty thing. I get it. That's the ultimate goal. But let players do what's fucking best for them. Yeah, maybe that team isn't the best for Damian Lillard, but maybe his family really likes it there. Maybe he loves the food there. Maybe he likes the hookers there. I don't fucking know, but that's his own prerogative. And stop hating on that. And if a player wants to leave, Zion might be the first player. Fuck yeah! Dude, I don't want to be in New Orleans. You can get hurricanes. Shit sounds terrible. They got voodoo out in that bitch. Pretty sure alligators. Other than the gumbo, which is making them fat, it's probably not the greatest for a basketball player. The fucking mascot is a pelican. I'd be embarrassed putting that shit on. Like, if you're gonna be a bird of aviation, be something fucking cool like an eagle or a raven or a hawk. A fucking pelican. Fuck out my face with that shit. I could go deeper and onto it. If you think Michael Jordan's your GOAT, there's no way I'm gonna convince you otherwise. And that's okay. Like I said, it's subjective. I know my brother's really gonna hate this video, but that's okay. Bron's the GOAT. Love y'all. Good day, gang. I'm EYESO Plays. Peace out.